Hi, I'm Jerry Rinker. I'm 82 years old and I race super stock tri-hull race boats, and I'm very good at it. I know that you are kind. You show me everywhere you go. But in my last race, I crashed, flipped upside down, and drowned.
Oh, we got buoys going all over the place. Oh, look out there. We got to go over Lieutenant Jerry Rinker. Let's make sure he gets out of the cockpit there as we got our rescue crews quickly hurrying to get on site. Get it. Go, hurry.
Did you find out about what had happened?
Yeah, so I was at a restaurant just down the way a little bit from where they launched the boats at, literally taking a picture of a drink, and I just happened to see the race started, and shortly thereafter the race started, I saw the accident happen.
My dad was running in front of the pack, and probably second, maybe third lap, he went through the turn and hit a roller. The boat seemed to kind of skip left and just slow rolled and went upside down.
Saw the boat flip over. I watched, and I never saw Jerry come out. And I saw the diver go down the first time and was down there a little bit, and then so I started kind of getting worried. Then I saw him come up without Jerry, and then I was gone. The tri-hulls do not flip very often, so when I saw it flip, it automatically made us alert. And knowing that was Jerry's boat, it made me even more alert and more concerned.
When he rolled it, honestly, I wasn't terribly worried at first because he's rolled it multiple times and he's been okay. But once I started to notice that the divers kept coming back up, it kind of had me start to panic a little bit. I unbuckled my straps and kind of started climbing out of the boat. I knew I couldn't get close to the wreck because I would be in the way of the divers, but it was panic.
So I literally was on the second floor of this restaurant, took out of there running and ran across the restaurant, ran across the parking lot, and then I had a pretty long run because I had to run across the parking lot and across the pits to get to the boat launch. And then that's where I jumped in and started doing what I did.
You know, the boat was upside down for quite a while. The diver came and went down and then came back up and went back under, and they started hooking up the boat to try to get it back upright. And I mean, I'm watching the clock. And knew it had been a long time, so pretty hard to watch.
You know, on a personal note, I lost my dad 3 weeks before the race, and my dad loved Jerry. My dad looked up to Jerry. He loved the racing. It was everything. My dad just loved Rinker racing. And to lose him, this was our first race after my dad's death. We actually had a little bit of a decal on the boat representing my dad. And actually the last person I did CPR on was my dad. And I was bound and determined that I was going to get Jerry back.
Normally when they come in after you, the boat's upside down and they just unbuckle you. They get you out from under the cage that's over you, and then you just float to the surface with them coming up with you. And they couldn't get me unbuckled.
There's a little bit of unknowns, obviously. I mean, the divers are going underwater. It's murky. You can't really see that well. I personally feel like maybe when he got latched in, that a piece of his jacket or capsule suit got hung up in the mechanism.
So now they're scrambling to get the boat right side up.
See them flip the boat over. They're a long ways out there, but I could see Jerry in the cockpit. And I jumped in and started kind of wading my way and then swimming my way because I could tell that Jerry was in really bad shape. His face was extremely pale, obviously unconscious, and it was obvious that he wasn't breathing.
Some fellow drivers kind of bear hugged me and held me back and kept me from getting to the ramp, which was pretty tough, you know? I mean, I wanted to be there, but they just kept telling me, you don't want to see this.
Dustin was in the boat as soon as it got right side up, and he's trying to give me CPR in the boat with a cage around me. And he was after me, trying to get me going, but he couldn't really apply much pressure to my chest.
So he was still in the cockpit, so we had to remove his devices, remove all of his seat belts and different things to get him pulled out of the cockpit and then laid out across the decking so that we could start proper CPR. I did CPR as they were pushing the boat to the boat launch. At that point in time, some people were coming out to help. I asked for a backboard. They brought a backboard in so that we could move him a little easier. It also helped with a little bit more efficient CPR. So once we had a backboard under him, we were able to transfer him, and we actually carried him with several volunteers there, carried him on the backboard through the water, getting him up to shore, then moving him onto a stretcher, and actually moved him into the ambulance where we continued CPR and other life-saving measures.
When we first got to the hospital, was pretty quickly met by the head surgeon, trauma surgeon there. He asked if I was Jerry's son, and I said yes. And so he said, hey, I've got to show you something.
Chris and I went back there and we're speaking with the doctor. And I actually started really questioning the doctor because everything that he was describing, nothing was to do with his lungs. And I said, well, what about the damage to his lungs? What about the water saturation in his lungs? He said, there is none.
He drugged me into a room, and there's a little girl working on a computer, and she was looking at CT scans and basically asked her to slide over, and he sat down and pulled up a CT scan. He said, this is unbelievable. He said, your dad has no water in his lungs. He said, I know he was under 3 to 4 minutes. He's like, there's no way to explain that.
I have never in 27 years been on a drowning patient or seen a drowning patient that did not have water in his lungs and have lung damage due to water being in their lungs. I had no explanation. The doctor had no explanation other than it's a true to life miracle.
An amazing recovery. That's how family members and friends are describing a legendary powerboat racer rescued and revived after his boat overturned during the races at Riverfest.
I truly am eternally grateful for the divers, and in particular Dustin that you interviewed earlier, because he actually thumped my chest. I think he actually fractured my sternum trying to get me breathing again. Fortunately, that's what, as I understand, that's what really got my heart going again. Of course, how he knew I was back as I farted. But anyway, they got me back. And
I remember being in the back of that ambulance, and I was asked to step aside in the back of the ambulance. I didn't have any markings that I was a fireman or anything like that. And I refused. And it was because I had just lost my dad. I had just did CPR on my dad 3 or 4 weeks earlier. And I was bound and determined that I was going to get Jerry back. And I think it did help me a little bit with even better CPR and more efficiency and more focus, because I wasn't losing Jerry. I wasn't going to have Chris go through what I had just went through. I mean, I think a little bit after I stepped out of that ambulance and after I was able to kind of gather my thoughts, I think looking back, I think my dad was on my shoulder telling me what to do, giving me the push, and it was in my ear with encouragement to keep going, to not give up on Jerry.
Oh, it means everything to have him here. Seeing him still out there on the sidelines watching, if I'm a quarter of what he is today, I'll be happy with that. Absolutely love my grandpa, so I'm very happy to have him with us today.
Whenever we got a pulse back on Jerry, it was one of those feelings that I had a lot of emotion come over me at that time. And it was probably one of the most special moments.
And the big deal was this guy here wanted to race longer than his brother, so there was a pretty good competition. So he raced till he was 80, and then he was like, yeah, why not? I'm gonna keep going. So, you know, he ran till he was 82, and
then they pulled the plug.
Well, good Lord said, it's time. Like, you kind of pushed your luck here, Jerry. Let's go ahead and put retirement on that number.
You got what you wanted, yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely did, and he would continue. He would still be racing today if he was physically fit enough. He would go out there tomorrow and love every minute of it.
other side?
People ask me that, and I said, I didn't see anything, but they asked if I saw the light, the bright light, and I did see that, but I didn't see, I didn't see conversations with my brothers or mom and dad, or I didn't see any of that. It was like I was in a dream, and there was a bright light over here. I assumed that it was maybe Jesus, who knows, God.
There were a lot of questions on whether he had a cardiac arrest or a heart attack before the wreck, like trying to understand, trying to figure out how does he not breathe? Even when you're knocked out, you're breathing. I mean, you're unconscious, but your body's naturally inhaling air and doing the normal things to keep you alive. He didn't breathe when he was underwater. So they were concerned that maybe he had a cardiac arrest. He was dead possibly before he was upside down. So, I mean, the doctor came in and actually scanned his pacemaker, and he said that there was no indications of a cardiac arrest prior or during the incident. So that kind of scratched a heart attack out of the equation. Whether the pacemaker was actually sitting there giving him enough juice to keep blood flow in his brain and keep him somewhat healthy enough to get back to the boat ramp and them to give him CPR to get his lungs and everything else working, we don't know. I mean,
And again, the big guy might have played a part in that.